Welcome to this explainer. All right, let's jump right in. Picture this. You are at the grocery store. You're patting your pockets, muttering, "Where are my keys?" out loud. And boom, someone hears you. You instantly get that awkward, slightly concerned, polite smile, and they take a little step back, right? We've all been there. But here's the thing. What society basically dismisses as this quirky, maybe even kind of lonely habit, science is actually telling us is a highly advanced cognitive tool. Seriously, you're not being weird, you are actually displaying elite-level thinking.
So, Section 1, Awareness and Intense Focus. Let's look at how talking to yourself actually acts as both a mental mirror and a steering wheel.
Which brings us to trait number 1, reflective awareness. It's fascinating because the very second you speak a thought out loud, you stop running on autopilot. Psychology pioneer Lev Vygotsky noticed this way back in the day. You're basically splitting your mind in two. One part is doing the acting, but the other part suddenly steps back to objectively observe, question, and analyze. It's like you become your own internal supervisor, giving you this instant, real-time control over what you're doing. And that baseline of awareness, it acts as the perfect foundation, instantly building right into trait number 5 on our list, which is greater focus and mental performance. Think about professional athletes or high performers. You'll often see them using these short, spoken cues, essentially acting as their own personal coach, saying things like, "eyes up," or even just you muttering keys, wallet, phone as you walk out the door. Doing this actively sharpens your attention. It literally filters out the visual noise around you and locks your brain onto a single task when your mind starts to drift. By verbalizing the goal, you are physically preventing your brain from just wandering off.
Moving on to Section 2, Problem Solving and Creativity. Let's see how putting a voice to the chaotic noise in your head transforms it into an absolute machine for solving complex issues.
So here is trait number 2, incredibly strong problem-solving ability. Researchers actually call this the self-explanation effect. See, converting all that fuzzy, abstract noise in your head into actual spoken language forces your brain to put it into a strict logical structure. If your plan has a flaw, it instantly sounds wrong the second it hits the air. Your own voice becomes this built-in real-time quality control check. You are literally debugging your own thoughts out loud. And, having that kind of quality control naturally unlocks trait number 4, higher creativity. Because when ideas stay locked up inside your head, they tend to just circle the exact same familiar grooves over and over. But the moment you speak out loud, you completely interrupt those predictable patterns. You actually create this amazing internal friction where half-formed thoughts collide with each other. You can argue with yourself or, even play different characters. This allows you to connect totally disparate dots that silent thinking would just never, ever reach. It forces your brain to work so much harder and way more dynamically. All right, Section 3, Emotional Control and Independence. Let's step up the cognitive ladder a bit and look at how this habit regulates our deepest emotions. This brings us to trait 3, exceptional emotional regulation. And this is a big one. Psychologist Ethan Kross discovered something really incredible. He found that using what he calls distanced self-talk, which is basically speaking to yourself using your own name instead of the word I, radically reduces anxiety and stress.
So instead of saying, "I am scared," and just drowning in that feeling, you shift to real-time coaching, like, "You have handled way worse." You are not being overly dramatic when you do this. You are actually demonstrating extreme discipline. You're intentionally stepping out of the emotional storm so you can calm down and deliberately choose your next move. It completely short-circuits your brain's panic response. A total game changer.
And honestly, that level of emotional control perfectly illustrates how we arrive at trait 6, strong independence of thought. Most people, the second they feel unsure about something, they immediately reach outward for someone else to tell them what to think. Self-talkers, they do the exact opposite. They turn inward first.
Because you're so used to regularly arguing with yourself, you really don't need a crowd to just hand you the answer. You're running ideas past your own judgment first, actively questioning and testing your own reasoning. By sitting comfortably with these hard problems, you develop this undeniable intellectual sovereignty, and that protects you from a world that is constantly trying to dictate exactly what you should believe. You effectively become your own fiercest critic, but also your own best advisor.
Okay, final section, Section 4, the ultimate growth loop. Let's connect all these dots and reveal the absolute ultimate superpower of the self-talker. And that superpower is trait 7, continuous personal growth. See, while a lot of folks just go quiet and zone out after a hard day, self-talkers use this relentless feedback loop: act, reflect, adjust. They replay the events, understand them, and extract vital lessons from those experiences. It's not just mindless chatter. It's an ongoing, highly active conversation with a person they are actively trying to become.
So the crucial point here, that voice in the empty room is definitely not weird. It is the visible auditory sign of a mind constantly adapting. You're leveraging high self-awareness, sharp problem-solving, steady emotions, deep creativity, laser focus, and independent thinking to fuel relentless growth. You have had this incredible elite cognitive tool at your disposal all along.
To wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a thought. I want you to really reflect on your own inner coach for a second. When do you find yourself relying on this cognitive superpower the most? Is it when you're stressed, trying to solve a tricky problem, or just processing a long day? And honestly, which of these 7 traits resonates with you the most? So hey, the next time you catch yourself muttering in the cereal aisle at the grocery store, do not be embarrassed. Just remember, you are operating at an entirely higher cognitive level.